Hey, welcome to ECU Sports. I'm Corey.
And I'm Josh.
With being the new centennial, you'd expect bigger and better things for Oklahoma. But ECU is still living in the past. Let's take a look. There is a long history of East Central football, with many great players and coaches. But the problem is, it looks the same way now as it did back then. With lockers that were built by the coaches, and a weight room that's cluttered even for the smallest of groups. And a grass field that's hard to maintain throughout the season. Now what's the reason for all of this?
When we made the transition from NAIA to NCAA, there's more that needed to take place in that transition, and it just didn't. We are dramatically behind. And it's one thing to be behind if we had a nice facility and they just have a better one. They have nice facilities and we just have, I don't even know if I even say mediocre at best. Everything that you see as far as the Elvin George, the stadium, the field itself is a solid 40 to 50 years old and really has not been touched in that time. The Elvin George, initially, the majority of the inside of that building was a locker room. But then as weights became more and more crucial into the sport of football, that transformed itself into a weight room, then put a wall up, and the rest was a locker room. Otherwise, those buildings haven't been touched really since their inception. We even have alumni come back and look around and say, hey, it looks exactly the way it did when I played. That's the last thing you want to hear, really.
His plans for improvement include field turf for the field and expanding the Elvin George building toward the track for a bigger weight room and locker room. The Kerr Dome has already seen some improvements with a new basketball court. Speaking of basketball, how's that looking this season, Josh?
Corey looks looking really good. The girls have been dominant in all their preseason play against all the teams they've played. They've added to their offensive and defensive firepower through the preseason. And let's look at how Coach France feels about it this season.
Excited about the way our kids have been working, and they're looking forward to the start of it. We've got pretty good leadership, better leadership than we've had around here in years past. And I've always felt like that's a harder thing to accomplish than what people realize. I mean, it's not, you can't just go out there and say, okay, hey, I'm the leader, I'm a senior, I'm going to lead this year. You got to lead by example, and you got to lead by your actions. And I felt like our three seniors, Justin Flannery, Lacey Goldwire, and Christy Dodgen, have done a pretty good job of that to this point so far. What we tried to do in the off season last year in recruiting was to upgrade our offensive firepower, be able to score more from the perimeter. I think we were successful in that we can shoot the ball better from three than we were able to last year. Last year, out of the 15 teams in the Lone Star Conference, we were dead last in three-point field goal percentage. Some of those kids were able to showcase that in the exhibition games this year. They bring some other things to the table that we haven't had here over the last couple of years. So you're right in your comment about us being deeper. We are going to be able, at least at this point in time, be able to make a substitution and not see a large drop off, if any. Now we may be sacrificing a little bit of defensive prowess to get more offensive firepower on the floor. So we want to encourage everybody to come out and watch what we feel like is going to be a pretty good brand of basketball this year.
And the men's basketball team is exciting to watch this season as well, with strong play against all Division I teams they've played so far.
Sounds like it's going to be a good season for Tiger Sports.
Indeed it will, Corey. Indeed. Back to you, Natasha.